Hello, welcome back to this video series on A Course in Miracles. I'm Tomas Garza, and thank you all for joining me. As always, whether you're finding this link on my own YouTube channel or whether you've found it on Enlightened World Network, because it's playing there. And if you go back and happen to view some of the first videos in this series, this was a live stream on Enlightened World Network. That's how this whole thing started out. And all of the videos are, of course, available on the YouTube channel for Enlightened World Network. So wherever you happen to be joining me from, welcome. We're going to talk some metaphysical ideas here today. Actually, we are all the time, every day. And that's what A Course in Miracles is about. But we want to pay some special attention to this one. The idea in the workbook that we're talking about today is lesson 289. So we're well into part 2 of the workbook here. Lesson 289 says, "The past is over. It can touch me not." Right? The past is over. It can touch me not. Can't touch this. I was in college in the 90s. Some of you were too. Those of you who were, get that reference. And if you don't worry about it. But the past is over. It can touch me not. Now, on one level, this makes a whole lot of sense, doesn't it? That's when we really think about it. Of course, the past is over. The past is gone. Yesterday is yesterday. The 90s were the 90s. It's over, right? The popularity of MC Hammer is over. Can't touch this. Get it? It's gone. It's not here. And in spirituality, we can accurately say the same thing about the future. A decision that we might have to make at 5 o'clock this evening has not come yet. It's not here. Next Saturday is not here. And that is so obvious that it makes sense to us. But what doesn't necessarily make sense to the intellectual mind, to the supposed, right, rational mind, the logical thinking mind, what doesn't make sense to that necessarily is the underpinning of this idea. And that is, we're looking at the past. We are. We're looking at the past. All of the appearances in this world are already over with. This one, quite naturally, can come as a shock. And I know Jesus was laughing as he dictated some of this material because he knew that this would throw some people's intellectual minds for a loop. I mean, you might be asking yourself, well, these dudes are crazy, right? How can that be? Well, here's an example of how that can be. Think about a sky full of stars at night. All right. And we've all seen them. Maybe this was a sky full of stars without the light pollution from a city, for example, whether this is in the mountains or out in the desert, maybe out on the ocean or the beach, someplace, right? When we're looking at the stars at night, we're literally looking at the past, aren't we? Because some of those stars are so far away that it takes the light, even at the speed of light, so long to reach the Earth, our bodily eyeballs, right? It takes so long for that to happen that that star that we are seeing could have burnt out and blown up millions and millions of years ago. We're looking at the past. When we see the beautiful night sky, we're looking at the past. Similarly, when we see something wrong with someone else in the world, we're looking at the past. When we see ourselves as less than, when we see ourselves as inferior or unworthy, yeah, we're, excuse me, looking at the past. It's a very profound idea once you give yourself the time to contemplate it. May not make sense to the intellectual mind. How does this apply to A Course in Miracles? Well, forgiveness, right? We're forgiving the past. And in fact, in terms of a general forgiveness opportunity, forgive the past, all of it, because we're looking at it. There is only the present moment, so therefore the past is not real. Because there's only the eternal present, the past has never been. This is how we can say with crystal clarity that everything we see in this world, including this thing called a body that's speaking to you right now, is an illusion. Yes, categorically, truly, definitively an illusion. The past has never been. There's only an eternal present, so the past is impossible. When we forgive in any way, we're forgiving the past. And it appears we're doing this right now in linear time, but there is no linear time. There's only the eternal present moment. Now, in this wonderful and beautiful gift of life, we have the opportunity to choose. So, as always, I invite you, Jesus invites you, the Holy Spirit invites you to choose love. What does this look like? Forgive, extend love. In this process, we release all of our baggage. This is what spiritual practice, whatever the form, is all about. It's about forgiveness and release. We release all of the ego clinging that we've grown habituated to. We release all of our insane drama lovingly. It's an extension of love. It's a miracle. Forgiveness is a miracle. What does this do? It readies us for God to simply take the final step himself, which is, in the end, is our complete awakening. And it's not an end at all. These are just terms and words that we use to communicate the message. And Jesus is using the symbol, set of symbols of language to reach you. This is what any spiritual teacher does. And what do when I turn on the camera and microphone? I use an image, a projected image, and words to reach you. And may this touch your heart, yeah? Somehow, deep down, I hope it does. I hope it does. There's only the eternal present. This is your reality. It's my reality. It's our reality. Drop all pronouns. It's reality itself. It simply is. This is yet another reason why we say in the thought system of A Course in Miracles, God is. And we'll leave it at that. It's the summary of A Course in Miracles. Nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. Herein lies the peace of God. So the past is over. It can touch you not at all. Even if you get caught up in it and try to run and hide, which is what we do, all of us, in the world, it still can't touch you because it's never been. It's unreal. So this is an idea that requires some explanation. It does. It requires some explanation the vast majority of the time because it's so alien to our rational thinking mind. I keep referring to A Course in Miracles as a thought system. It is, and it is a different thought system than the one we have been inculcated into, the one we've been born and habituated into and conditioned into, that's pretty much been shoved down our throats without our really having much we could do about it. So forgive your parents, forgive your teachers at school, forgive everyone who has run or governed your state or country or province, wherever you live, everyone in a position of so-called power, right? Everybody that has had an influence on your life, your ex-partner, that's a good one, right? Forgive the past completely. Yeah, it has never been. It's over. It can touch you not. So I invite you to please take comfort in that. And I will see you again here very soon as we continue to go through the workbook for students. Yeah, it's wonderful, wonderful stuff. So thank you very much for joining me.